Are you tired of feeling like you're not in control of your own life? Do you want to break free from the things that are holding you back? Today, we are diving into the profound teachings of Buddhism and discussing the 5 things that you must not allow to control your life. Lesson 1. Reflecting on your past. The past is a powerful force. It shapes us, molds us, and often defines us. It's important to remember that the past is just that, the past. It's a series of events that have already happened and cannot be changed. When we dwell on our past, whether it's filled with regrets, mistakes, or even successes, we are unable to live fully in the present moment. Buddhism teaches us the art of mindfulness, which is the practice of being fully present and engaged in the current moment. When we are mindful, we are not overly reactive or overwhelmed by what's happening around us. We are able to observe our thoughts and feelings without judgment and respond to them in a calm and composed manner. The key is to reflect on our past, not to dwell in it, but to learn from it. Reflecting on our past means looking back at our experiences with a sense of curiosity and openness rather than judgment and regret. For example, let's say you had a past relationship that ended badly. Instead of dwelling on the pain and regret, you can reflect on the experience and ask yourself, what did I learn from this relationship? How can I use this experience to improve my future relationships? By doing so, you are turning a negative experience into a positive learning opportunity. Another important aspect of reflecting on our past is forgiveness. Holding on to grudges and resentment only hurts us, not the person we are resenting. Buddhism teaches us to cultivate forgiveness, not for the sake of the other person, but for our own peace and well-being. When we forgive, we are not condoning the action, but rather, we are releasing the negative emotions associated with it. For example, let's say you were wronged by someone in the past. Instead of holding on to the anger and resentment, you can choose to forgive. This doesn't mean you have to forget what happened, or even reconcile with the person. It simply means you are choosing to let go of the negative emotions and move on with your life. Reflecting on our past is a powerful tool for growth and self-improvement. It allows us to learn from our experiences, cultivate forgiveness, and move forward with our lives. Don't let your past control your life. Instead, use it as a stepping stone to a brighter and better future. Remember, every moment is a fresh start, an opportunity to change and grow. Let go of your past, embrace the present, and look forward to the future. You are the master of your life, and you have the power to shape your destiny. So take control of your life and create your own path to happiness and enlightenment. Lesson 2. Considering others' opinions and judgments. We often place a great deal of emphasis on what others think of us. We seek validation and approval from those around us, and when we don't receive it, we can feel discouraged, insecure, and unworthy. This is a common struggle that many of us face, but it's important to remember that our self-worth should not be defined by others' opinions and judgments. Buddhism teaches us the importance of cultivating self-awareness and self-compassion, rather than seeking validation from external sources. This means learning to trust our own judgment, to believe in ourselves, and to find our inner worth. It's not about disregarding others' opinions entirely, but rather, it's about not allowing them to control our lives and dictate our happiness. Mindfulness is the practice of being present and fully engaged in the current moment. When we are mindful, we are able to observe our thoughts and feelings without judgment, allowing us to gain a deeper understanding of ourselves. By practicing mindfulness, we can become more aware of our tendency to seek validation from others, and we can learn to let go of this need. For example, let's say you're working on a project and you're feeling unsure about your progress. Instead of immediately seeking feedback from others, take a moment to pause and reflect on your own thoughts and feelings. Ask yourself, why am I seeking validation from others? What am I afraid of? By doing this, you can gain a better understanding of your own motivations and insecurities, and you can learn to trust your own judgment. Self-compassion is the practice of treating ourselves with kindness, understanding, and forgiveness. When we are self-compassionate, we are able to accept ourselves as we are, flaws and all. This can help us to let go of the need for others' approval as we learn to find our inner worth and confidence. For example, let's say you make a mistake at work and you're feeling embarrassed and ashamed. Instead of beating yourself up and seeking reassurance from others, try to practice self-compassion. Remind yourself that everyone makes mistakes and that it's okay to be imperfect. By doing this, you can learn to accept yourself and find comfort in your own kindness rather than seeking it from others. Setting healthy boundaries is an important part of protecting our mental and emotional well-being. This means learning to say no when we need to and not allowing others to cross our personal limits. By setting boundaries, we can prevent others' opinions and judgments from controlling our lives, and we can maintain our sense of self-respect and dignity. For example, let's say you have a friend who constantly criticizes your choices and makes you feel bad about yourself. Instead of continuing to spend time with this person and allowing their negativity to affect you, set a boundary. Tell them that their criticism is not helpful and that you need some space from them. By doing this, you can protect yourself from their negativity and maintain your self-worth. Gratitude is the practice of appreciating the good things in our lives. When we focus on what we're grateful for, we can shift our perspective from one of lack and insecurity to one of abundance and contentment. This can help us to let go of the need for others' approval as we learn to find happiness and fulfillment within ourselves. For example, let's say you're feeling down because you didn't get the promotion you were hoping for. Instead of dwelling on this setback and seeking reassurance from others, practice gratitude. Make a list of all the things you're grateful for in your life, such as your health, your family, and your friends. By doing this, you can shift your focus from what you don't have to what you do have, and you can find happiness and fulfillment within yourself. It's important to remember that we don't have to go through life alone. Seeking support from trusted friends, family members, or a therapist can be incredibly helpful in overcoming our tendency to seek validation from others. By talking about our struggles and receiving guidance and encouragement, we can learn to trust ourselves and find our inner worth. For example, let's say you are struggling with self-doubt and insecurity. Instead of keeping these feelings bottled up inside, reach out to a trusted friend or family member. Share your struggles with them and ask for their support and guidance. By doing this, you can gain a fresh perspective on your situation, and you can receive the encouragement and support you need to overcome your struggles. By practicing mindfulness, cultivating self-compassion, setting healthy boundaries, practicing gratitude, and seeking support, we can stop allowing others' opinions and judgments to control our lives. Lesson 3. Challenging your own limited beliefs. Limiting beliefs are often formed based on our past experiences, societal conditioning, and cultural norms. They can manifest in various forms, such as self-doubt, negative self-talk, and pessimistic views about the world. For example, you might believe that you're not good enough to pursue your dreams, or that success is only for a select few. These beliefs can hold you back from achieving your full potential and living a fulfilling life. The first step to challenging your limited beliefs is to become aware of them. Mindfulness, a key practice in Buddhism, involves being fully present and aware of your thoughts, feelings, and bodily sensations without judgment. By practicing mindfulness, you can observe your thoughts and beliefs as they arise and gain insight into their nature and impact. For example, if you notice a thought like, "I'm not good enough," observe it without judgment and ask yourself, is this thought true? Where does it come from? How does it make me feel? This process of self-inquiry can help you see your beliefs for what they are, mental constructs that can be challenged and changed. In Buddhism, it is taught that our thoughts create our reality. Therefore, by cultivating positive thoughts, we can create a positive reality. This doesn't mean ignoring or denying the challenges and difficulties in life, but rather choosing to focus on the positive and empowering aspects. For example, instead of believing "I'm not good enough," you can choose to believe "I am capable and deserving of success." This shift in belief can have a profound impact on your thoughts, feelings, and actions, leading to a more positive and fulfilling life. One of the fundamental teachings of Buddhism is impermanence, the understanding that everything is temporary and constantly changing. This includes our thoughts and beliefs. By embracing impermanence, we can learn to let go of our limiting beliefs and embrace new, more empowering ones. For example, if you've always believed that you're shy and introverted, remember that this belief is not permanent. You have the power to change and grow, to become more confident and outgoing. Embrace this impermanence and allow yourself to evolve beyond your limiting beliefs. Compassion is seen as a powerful antidote to negative and limiting beliefs. By cultivating compassion for ourselves and others, we can transform our beliefs from negative to positive, from limiting to empowering. For example, if you're struggling with self-doubt, practice self-compassion. Treat yourself with kindness and understanding, as you would treat a dear friend. Remember, we all have flaws and imperfections, and that's okay. What matters is that we strive to learn, grow, and improve. Buddhism encourages us to seek wisdom and understanding, to see beyond our limited beliefs and perceptions. This involves learning from wise teachers, reading enlightening books, and engaging in thoughtful discussions and reflections. For example, you might seek wisdom from a spiritual teacher, a mentor, or a self-help book. You might also engage in meditation or journaling to reflect on your beliefs and gain deeper insight. By seeking wisdom, you can broaden your perspective, challenge your beliefs, and gain a deeper understanding of yourself and the world. Your beliefs do not define you. You have the power to challenge them, to change them, and to create a life that is true to who you are and what you want. To challenge your beliefs, embrace your potential, and create a life of happiness, fulfillment, and enlightenment. Lesson 4. Confronting fear. Fear is a natural human emotion, a survival mechanism that has been with us since the dawn of humanity. It serves a purpose, alerting us to potential dangers and threats. However, when fear becomes overwhelming, it can prevent us from living our lives to the fullest, paralyzing us and hindering our growth and happiness. In Buddhism, fear is seen as a result of our attachment to things, people, and outcomes. It is a product of our mind, a mental construct that can be overcome. To confront fear, we must first understand it. Fear is not our enemy. It is a part of us, a natural response to perceived threats. However, not all fears are rational or justified. Often, our fears are based on our thoughts, beliefs, and assumptions, rather than on reality. For example, we may fear failure, rejection, or change, not because they are inherently dangerous, but because we attach negative meanings and consequences to them. Buddhism teaches us that our fears are often rooted in our attachment to things, people, and outcomes. We fear losing what we have, not getting what we want, or facing the unknown. This attachment creates a sense of insecurity and uncertainty, leading to fear. Buddhism offers a powerful tool to confront fear: mindfulness. Mindfulness is the practice of being fully present and aware of our thoughts, feelings, and sensations without judgment or attachment. When we practice mindfulness, we can observe our fears without being overwhelmed by them, allowing us to gain insight and control over them. For example, if we fear public speaking, we can use mindfulness to observe our thoughts and feelings when we think about or engage in public speaking. We may notice that our fear is based on thoughts of failure, embarrassment, or rejection, and feelings of anxiety, discomfort, or inadequacy. By observing these thoughts and feelings with mindfulness, we can see them for what they are: mental constructs, not reality. This can help us to let go of our attachment to them, reducing our fear. Another way to confront fear is through compassion. In Buddhism, compassion is not just about caring for others, but also about caring for ourselves. When we experience fear, we can practice self-compassion, acknowledging our fear with kindness and understanding, rather than with judgment or criticism. For example, if we fear failure, we can practice self-compassion by acknowledging our fear, understanding that it is a natural response to a perceived threat, and reassuring ourselves that it is okay to feel afraid. We can also remind ourselves that failure is not a reflection of our worth or ability, but a part of the learning and growth process. By practicing self-compassion, we can create a safe and supportive space for ourselves, reducing our fear. To confront fear, we need courage. Courage is not the absence of fear, but the willingness to face fear despite its presence. Courage is seen as a virtue, a quality that allows us to overcome obstacles and challenges, including fear. For example, if we fear change, we can practice courage by taking small steps towards change. Despite our fear, we can start by changing something small in our daily routine, like trying a new food or taking a different route to work. By facing our fear with courage, we can build our confidence and resilience, reducing our fear. A person who feared failure decided to start a new business. Instead of letting fear control their actions, they used mindfulness to observe their fear, compassion to acknowledge and reassure themselves, and courage to take the first step towards their goal. A person who feared rejection decided to express their feelings to someone they loved. Instead of avoiding their fear, they used mindfulness to understand their fear, compassion to support themselves, and courage to face their fear. A person who feared change decided to move to a new city. Instead of resisting their fear, they used mindfulness to accept their fear, compassion to comfort themselves, and courage to embrace their fear. In each example, the person did not let fear control their life. Instead, they used the teachings of Buddhism to confront their fear, transforming it from a barrier into a catalyst for growth and change. By understanding our fears, practicing mindfulness, compassion, and courage, we can overcome our fears, living a life of freedom, happiness, and enlightenment. Take control of your life, confront your fears, and create your own path to happiness and enlightenment. Lesson 5. Dealing with selfish behavior. In the teachings of Buddhism, selfish behavior is seen as one of the major obstacles to achieving happiness and enlightenment. Selfishness is a tendency to prioritize one's own interests and desires above others, often leading to actions that harm or neglect others. This behavior creates a separation between ourselves and others, fostering a sense of isolation and disconnection. To deal with selfish behavior, Buddhism encourages us to cultivate compassion and altruism, understanding that we are all interconnected and that our actions affect not only ourselves but also others. In this lesson, we will explore the concept of selfishness in Buddhism, its negative impacts, and how we can overcome it to lead a more fulfilling and compassionate life. Selfishness is rooted in the three poisons of the mind: ignorance, attachment, and aversion. Ignorance refers to the lack of understanding of the true nature of reality, leading to a false sense of self and separation from others. Attachment refers to the clinging to things, people, and outcomes, driven by the desire for pleasure and security. Aversion refers to the avoidance of things, people, and outcomes, driven by the fear of pain and discomfort. Selfishness arises when we are driven by these three poisons, leading us to prioritize our own interests and desires above others. This behavior is based on the illusion of a separate self, ignoring the interconnectedness and interdependence of all beings. In Buddhism, this illusion is seen as the root cause of suffering, as it creates a sense of separation, isolation, and conflict. Selfish behavior has negative impacts not only on others, but also on ourselves. When we act selfishly, we harm others, creating suffering and conflict. This, in turn, creates negative karma, leading to future suffering for ourselves. Selfish behavior creates a sense of isolation and disconnection, as we prioritize our own interests above others, neglecting our relationships and community. Selfish behavior creates a sense of dissatisfaction and unfulfillment, as we constantly seek to fulfill our own desires and needs. This leads to a never-ending cycle of craving and grasping, as our desires are never fully satisfied. To overcome selfish behavior, Buddhism encourages us to cultivate compassion and altruism, understanding that we are all interconnected and that our actions affect not only ourselves but also others. This involves developing a sense of empathy, understanding the feelings and perspectives of others, and acting with kindness and generosity. Reflect on how your actions affect not only yourself but also others, and how others' actions affect you. Understand that we are all connected, and that our well-being and happiness depend on each other. Practice putting yourself in others' shoes, understanding their feelings and perspectives. Cultivate a sense of compassion, wishing others to be free from suffering and happy. Practice giving to others, whether it's your time, attention, or resources. Generosity not only benefits others, but also cultivates a sense of joy and fulfillment in ourselves. Reflect on how your attachment and aversion drive your selfish behavior, and practice letting go of them. Understand that things, people, and outcomes are impermanent and ever-changing, and that clinging to them only creates suffering. Practice being present and aware of your thoughts, feelings, and actions. Cultivate mindfulness to recognize when you are acting selfishly, and to choose a more compassionate and altruistic response. Instead of hoarding resources or opportunities for ourselves, we can share them with others. For example, sharing food with a hungry person, or sharing knowledge with someone who needs it. Instead of dominating conversations or dismissing others' opinions, we can listen to them with an open mind and heart. For example, listening to a friend's problems, or considering a colleague's suggestions. Focusing only on our own needs and desires, we can help others in need. For example, volunteering at a local charity, or helping a neighbor with their groceries. Holding grudges or blaming others, we can apologize for our mistakes and forgive others for theirs. For example, apologizing to a friend for hurting their feelings, or forgiving a family member for their past mistakes. Focusing on what we lack or desire, we can cultivate gratitude for what we have. For example, expressing gratitude for our health, relationships, and opportunities. Dealing with selfish behavior is essential for achieving happiness and enlightenment in Buddhism. By cultivating compassion and altruism, understanding the interconnectedness of all beings, and practicing generosity, empathy, and mindfulness, we can overcome selfish behavior and lead a more fulfilling and compassionate life. Our lives should not be controlled by our past, others' opinions, our own limited beliefs, fear, or selfish behavior. Instead, we should strive to live a life of mindfulness, compassion, and wisdom, as taught in the spiritual teachings of Buddhism. Remember, the power to change your life is in your hands. So take control of your life and create your own path to happiness and enlightenment.